Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Tamisha Denis, and today I'm going to give you what you can look out for if you think you have a cavity and how you can kind of figure out if you have a cavity before you even go to the dentist. This is Dr. Tamisha Denis, and this is Beauty and the Teeth. You think you might have a cavity? Maybe, not sure. Let's go through what you might see and what you might feel and what you might experience if you might have a cavity, so you can sort it through so you know if you need to run into dentist and get something done. Now, before I describe what you might see and feel if you have a cavity, I must remind you, if I could put a huge dental billboard in my office, I would say these simple words: not all things hurt. It's not only when something hurts you should go to the dentist. The reality is, I have seen all kinds of things in my dental office that look terrible, and the person has no pain at all. Even cavities really near the nerve, and no pain at all. So we can not only use what you feel to tell you if something is wrong, but this isn't a case that you're actually seeing and feeling something and want to know, oh my goodness, do I have a cavity? Maybe it'll make you sleep a little better tonight. All right, so the first thing that you might see is a crack, a break, or a hole. Now, the word cavity comes from the word cavitation, which means hole, like a cave, right? So if you have a hole in your tooth, there's a high chance that you have a cavity. I don't understand this, but people do not like to look inside of their mouths. Often people, when they come to the dental office and I say, well, did you see something? And they say, no, I didn't look. I don't want to look. And it shocks me. Take your mirror and look in the mirror, okay? Because if you see a hole there, there's a huge chance that you might have a cavity. If you see a big brown spot that is empty, it's probably a cavity. However, you need to go and confirm that with your dentist, but take a look around. It is your mouth, it is your body, and you should never be embarrassed to look inside or scared to look inside, because it's a part of you and you need to be in charge of your own health. So if you see a hole, you might have a cavity. Now, I mentioned a little bit before, if you see a brown spot, you might have a cavity. There are times where brown spots may be a big chunk of plaque. It might be a stain. It might be a piece of filling that just is looking dark, or a lot of variety of other things. So not every brown thing in your mouth is a cavity, but it is worth investigating, especially if you've never seen it before. So if you see a brown spot in your tooth, whether or not it's accompanied with a hole, then you might have a cavity. Another thing that you might be looking out for if you might have a cavity is food getting stuck between your teeth. So if you get a lot of food stuck between your teeth, like kind of like packed in there, every time you eat, you got to run to the bathroom and fish it out, you might have a cavity. So you may have, especially chicken and steak and those kinds of things, they love to pack into corners like that. Or maybe if you have something sweet and it gets stuck really in there, then you have to pick it out, then you might have a cavity. Another way you know if you have a cavity or you might have a cavity is if you see an existing filling that is broken. Again, this requires you to look inside of your mouth, but if you look in your mouth and you see half of your filling gone, now that is a lot easier to do when it's on the bottom, but when it's on the top, unless you have a dental mirror and someone who can help put your head back and put light inside the back of your mouth, it's a little harder to detect. But if you see that your filling is gone, then that kind of leads me into the next thing. So we're done with all of the things that you can see. Now let's talk about the things that you might be able to feel. So let's talk about that. Now, if you run your tongue, of course, you have a pretty good idea of the landscape inside of your mouth. You kind of know what the real estate is there, where you have a crown. And if you suddenly feel something very sharp, you might have a cavity or you might have broken something that may alert you it's time to go to the dentist and get that checked out. Even if you don't want to look inside, you probably should go to the dentist and see what's going on there. Now, in terms of feeling, not only can you feel something with your tongue, and like we talked about before, if you have food getting stuck in there and you see that corner that doesn't quite look like it used to, that you might have a cavity. Now, let's talk about what else you might feel. Now, those feelings, now we're talking about nerves. When we're talking about teeth do not have a lot of variety of feelings. They either feel nothing or they feel something. And usually that something is only pain. To feel cold is to feel pain. To feel hot is to feel pain. To even feel bite is to feel pain. So if you're biting down and you feel pain, it's probably not good. If you're having something cold, now if it's extremely cold, even healthy teeth will feel that. If extremely hot, maybe not. It will feel funny. But for the most part, in extremes, it's normal to feel in your mouth. But to feel pain, not normal. So if you have something cold and you get a very pain that kind of stops you for a second, most likely you might have a cavity. Now, cold is a little tricky because things like sensitive teeth, which just require Sensodyne, which is not something you should go to first. You should see your dentist first. But cold, some people just simply have sensitive teeth. So cold can be a little tricky. And like I said before, even healthy teeth feel some extreme cold sometimes. But if you're even having lukewarm water or just regular room temperature water and you're feeling cold, it's probably an indication that something is going on in your mouth that you need to get checked out. Now, obviously, any temperature is concerning, and that's something that I definitely talk to people about when they come, what kind of symptoms that they're having to temperature. And the next thing you might feel is sensitivity to sweet. Now, I think the sensitivity to sweet is a lot more indicative of having a cavity than even having sensitivity to cold is, because a lot of other things can cause sensitivity to cold. But having sensitivity to sweet usually makes a little ding, ding, ding in my mind that you may have a cavity. You may have a cavity. The reason I'm making that distinction is because cavities can lead to different procedures. Now, when I say you may have a cavity, that cavity may mean you need a filling. That cavity may mean you need a crown. That cavity may mean you need a root canal and a crown. That cavity may mean you need to extract the whole thing. So cavities, depending on the size, can have different treatment types. But if you have a cavity, you should go and see your dentist as soon as you can. This is Dr. Tamisha Denis with Beauty and the Teeth. I hope that this information helped you, either to make you feel a little better or to alert you that it's time to call your dentist. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe and turn on your notification bells so you can see the next time I post a video. And if you have any suggestions for a video, I always love all of the suggestions and I read all of the comments, so make sure you comment below. All right, see you soon. Bye.